Floyd, the fullback, he's through the middle. He is away to the touchdown.
The 45-yard line by Chris Beebe. Foster's going to keep it into the end zone. Touchdown! Picked off! Touchdown, Tiger!
Welcome, everybody. Billy Beebe here with you in the Conference Center at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, getting you set for the 135th meeting between Massillon and McKinley. Today I've got both coaches with me. Coach Nate Moore of the Massillon Tigers. Coach, good morning.
Hi, Billy.
And Coach Antonio Hall of the McKinley Bulldogs.
Good morning.
Great to have you guys in the same room. Exciting to do that, and we've had a great time so far. Excited to talk a little bit football, talk the rivalry, talk everything that's been going on this season. We'll start with Coach Hall. Rivalry-wise, you've been a part of this as a player. You've been a part of this as a coach now. Has it changed over the years? Anything different now that you're a coach than back in the day when you were a player?
No. The same expectations are there, the same pageantry, the same communal involvement from both sides. And so, as society changes, some nuance changes, but it's still the same.
Coach Moore, you didn't play in it in high school, entered it about 10 years ago as a coach. Was there a welcome to the rivalry moment for you where you realized, holy cow, this thing's huge, this is a big moment, this is a big week?
I mean, I think probably that first win in 2016 was that moment for me. My first game that we lost in 2015 was played in half of Fawcett, and so that game just had a strange feel to it with nobody behind us and whatnot. And I will say though, taking the loss was hard. Like it was a heavy feeling. That you carry around with you all year. It was no fun. But then, getting that first win in 2016 really shows you how sweet it is.
Gentlemen, every year I talk to you guys both about the week, everything that's happening. I know you guys have a ton going on. We'll start with Coach Moore. Just tell me your favorite non-football thing that happens during the week.
Definitely pep rally. Pep rally on Friday. All the students are getting excited for the game on Saturday. Our guys are wound up, honestly, probably the parade. Also on Friday, the parade is one of a kind. I mean, the kids take off from the high school in cars with their name and position and number on them, and we roll from the high school to downtown, and the streets are all lined with people. Several people deep on both sides of us. It ends in a bonfire downtown, and that's probably it's the parade.
Do you get the biggest float in that?
No, we're in a car. Shout out to Riley Layfield. Riley's driven myself and our family every year for 10 years, and okay. It's a great event. Yeah,
that's a fun tradition. Coach Hall, for you, busy week for sure, but there's got to be something that's your favorite.
The pep rally. The students get super excited. The band gets the place rocking. You see some alumni come through, but just getting everybody charged up for Saturday.
All right, guys, let's talk football here. Coach Hall, Bulldogs sit at 6-3 right now. Break down your team for us on the field so far this year.
I think, we have some pretty good guys on the perimeter. Our quarterback, we've had pretty good play from our quarterback this year. We have a couple solid running backs back there, Nino, Jamar, and Steph. He comes and spells guys. And then, our defense. I think our defensive line has played well this year. Dante McClellan's had a strong senior campaign. And we see some depth starting to happen in our secondary. So just like to see guys progress and like to see us build depth as we move through the season.
Coach Moore, your squad this year sitting at 7-2 heading into the big game this week. How do you feel about them?
Feel great. I think this has really been a season of growth for this team. We lost a lot of guys that played really important roles on our team in 2023, and so it was. This season has been a story of development and growth, both on the field and as far as leadership, those things kind of ebb and flow through the season. There's peaks and valleys, and you face a little adversity, and you got to figure out how to get through that, and then you face a little bit more adversity. You got to figure out how to get through that, and there's, the growth process is it's not a straight line, but I think that's a lot of the fun of it. This is a fun group. They're very confident. We've got a lot of really good players, and we're really coming together as a team right now.
Who are some guys, names making the difference for you?
I mean, you guys do the games. You guys know all those players. We have a great team. I'm really happy with all the guys, and we're looking forward to getting out on the field Saturday.
Like to hear it. Let's stick with the team aspect of things. We'll start with Coach Moore. You have a huge staff. Staff makes up a football team, helps make things happen. Who are some guys on your football staff that kind of keep this thing going?
I mean, once again, we have an incredible staff. Love those guys. We work so many hours together, put in so much time, and one of the things I'm really proud of is we have, gosh, I don't know the exact number, 7 or 8 guys on our varsity staff that play for the Tigers.
Wow.
But that can't be the only reason why. All those guys are excellent football coaches, are excellent teachers, are excellent men. And then they happen to have also played Tigers, and so when you can get guys like that, you grab them and hold on to them as long as you can. And we've got a great staff, and we're looking forward to this week.
Coach Hall, there's a reason there's more than just a head coach on the team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Our staff is made up of guys who've played in this game on both sides, and so we're able to have an array of experience of what this week means, what it means to play high caliber football, try to achieve some high level goals, and it starts with our coordinators. They do a great job putting the game plan together, and our position coaches. We all work in line and put in a lot of hard hours, but it's all enjoyable. Switching
to the players themselves, no need to name names or anything, but how important is it for players on your team to be leaders?
Oh, it's extremely important. That's what football does. It develops leadership. We as football coaches pride ourselves on making men, on getting guys prepared not only for the next step in football, but in life, whatever that may be. And a big job of ours is developing and establishing leadership in our young men.
Coach Moore, have you noticed leadership within your team from different players?
Absolutely. We have a tremendous group of captains. We actually have 9 guys that are captains for us, and that number kind of changes every year. It all depends on who is rising to the top per se, and I think if we have guys that are checking all of those captains' boxes, like why not? Why 1, 2, 3, 4. Who cares how many guys? We want as many guys leaders as we could possibly get. But to be honest, the guys that I'm really the most proud of, and they know who they are. There are guys that were not captains, but have developed tremendously as far as leaders on our football team, because captain's a title. It represents something for sure, but captain's a title. Being named a captain doesn't make you a leader per se. You hope that it's a marker for that. But like I said, we need as many leaders as we can possibly get, and we've had guys that we've had seniors, right, that were not named captains that have grown tremendously as leaders, and I'm really proud of those guys as well.
Big part of the team. Love to hear that from both you guys. Era of NFL holdouts, college now getting NIL money. Is there something special about coaching still at just the high school level and having that purity to the game? We'll start with Coach Hall.
I think so. I think in high school you still are playing for the community that you represent, your school, the guys that you've grown with since playing Pee Wee through middle school and now the high school level. But you do see a trickle-down effect starting to happen from the NFL through college, and eventually it will permeate the high school game. You just hope it doesn't dilute it, and it loses that kind of what college used to feel like. You know, I mean, every week was a big game because you're representing your school. You're trying to get to a conference championship, a national championship, and so there is still that purity in high school. I just don't know how long it's going to last.
Coach Moore, would you agree there's still something there for high school football that's different from the other levels?
Yeah, but most definitely, and you know, I think that when you play for something bigger than yourself, that's when you have a chance to have really, really special things happen, not just for your team, but for each individual player personally, right? That's one of the things that I think a lot of people in society today fail to understand, is that's when special things happen for you personally, and you know, I know Antonio thinks about these things the same way I do, and you know, we're both trying to you know, send these young men off as great members of society, as great fathers, as representatives of their community, and all those things. For all those things to be true, somebody has to be able to put the team above themselves. They have to be able to. They have to be able to see that there are more important things than just me. Right? How can you become a great father if you don't put your family before yourself? Right. So like the idea of having players understand that the team comes first, and that. That's better for the team, but it's also better for you, right? Especially if you have any vision for your future. So, you know, I think it's a sad day. It'll be a sad day when those things are gone. You know, I hope we hold off as long as we can, but I don't know that there's anything more important in the world right now anywhere.
I love those answers, guys. Appreciate that, and I know the people of your community will as well. All right, effort to get to know you guys better. We're going to play flashback. We're going to go back a ways and get some answers from you guys to get to know Coach Moore, Coach Hall a little bit better. We'll start with Coach Hall. What was your first job?
Wow, my first job was technically a spotted laborer when I was 12 years old at Canton Preschool. My mom was the assistant director, and pretty much I just cut grass and trimmed hedges, did whatever needed to be done. But that was my first official job on the books.
Coach Moore?
My first job was at Wendy's. I was the best grill man.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. All right. If we saw Nate Moore in high school driving around town, what song or musician was he listening to?
Oh man! Well, first of all, I was driving around in a '91 Chevy S10 pickup, blue, stick shift,
Nice.
American racing rims. Love that truck. And I was listening to a little bit of everything, of everything. I really like classic rock, right? I really like the, you know, you call it hip hop now. It was rap back then. You know, really like the rap that was out. You know, dabbled in a little bit of everything.
I like to hear it. Coach Hall, what were you jamming to?
Well, in my 1986 Chevy Cavalier convertible with the white drop top, Kentucky blue, that was filled with offensive linemen. I mean, so you have that little bit of car, and you have 4 or 5 offensive linemen rolling around it. Yeah, right. Anything Jay-Z. I mean, at that time, you know, I still am a big Jay-Z guy, but that's who I rode to.
All right, asked you a similar question earlier, Coach Moore, but overall, what was your welcome to coaching moment? Not just at Massillon, but overall, was there a moment where you thought, oh my gosh, I'm a coach now, or you know, a moment maybe you messed something up?
So I got to coach for a guy named Jim Place, who's actually from Massillon, and I left University of Dayton as a player, thinking that I knew football, and it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't a couple of practices, maybe a game. I'm not sure. Into my first year as an assistant coach for Jim at Chaminade, before I realized I knew nothing about coaching football. that there was so much more to it than I thought. That it wasn't about getting on the board and drawing this player to go block this player, and it it's a little bit more about the tactics of that. But even that, it was about reaching the hearts of these young men, and that was something that and I'm not saying I didn't have great coaches that I really respected, but I never experienced anything like that as a player, and that was a very important seminal moment for me, and probably the moment where I decided I want to be like Coach Place. I want to be like Jim Place, and I want to be a high school head coach.
There you go, Coach Hall. Anything similar?
It was actually coaching my son's youth team. I mean, kind of like Coach Moore said, playing the game, playing at a high level, and having some success. You think you know football, but then you get out there and I've never had to coach a quarterback before. I was an offensive lineman. I've never had to coach a defensive back before. And so here I am out here coaching for the first time, and not only trying to learn conceptually like all the facets of football, but like Coach Moore said, how do I teach it to these kids? And so it was a very surreal experience to see as much as I thought that I knew about the game, I really didn't know anything. And so just building my coach's toolbox and my repertoire from there. But it was a very humbling experience and sobering experience to realize that, hey, I still have a whole lot to learn about this thing.
I love it. Guys, great answers today. Appreciate the time. The 135th meeting between Massillon and McKinley this Saturday. We'll have all the coverage for you beginning at 9 a.m. on 1480 WHBC. Special thank you to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They got us this terrific room. Sit both these guys down. And gentlemen, before we leave, any message to each other? I'll give you guys a chance to say good luck or whatever you'd like.
I have the utmost respect for Antonio and the Canton McKinley Bulldogs, and we want to play a great game, and we're going to get after each other for 48 minutes. But it's really important to us that we respect the rivalry and respect this game and all the people that have put on that jersey before and will put on the jerseys after. And we want to represent Massillon really well on Saturday.
And Coach Moore knows how I feel about him. He's been very instrumental in my high school coaching career. Always had great words of wisdom for me. We have great conversations outside of football. And so, I just appreciate everything he's done for me in my career, but also, giving me an example of what to strive for in terms of building my program. And like he said, we just want to represent the Bulldog brand, our community, and the most respectful and highest level that we can possibly do.
Great stuff, guys. Good luck, and we'll see you Saturday.
Sounds good.
Thank you.